Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Brian and Miss Berlin. Mr. Betcher can't be
Yay.
here. Yep. Yay. For Breaksec Education. It's our Tuesday show, which is normally just me, but until I start my new job, wink. I'll be on a little more regularly now because I we'll be spending hours trying to find a new job. So, um, yeah. How
Your
you?
job isn't podcasting?
I would love it to be, but unfortunately, no, I
It
don't.
doesn't pay super
It
well.
doesn't pay super well in the information security field. I played games and stuff like Fortnite. That may be a bit more
Do you
pay.
play Fortnite?
No, no,
Okay. Okay.
that, I'm not young enough to play Fortnite. So yeah. But yeah, my job of finding a job is now at an end. Uh,
Yay.
yeah, it literally what 4 months flew by, and it was an interesting discussion with the company that I'm going to be working with. I'm going to be the chief of staff for a CISO running the security program for them, and very much strategic position, which I've not been fully strategic before. I've been some operational, I've been some tactical, I've been some strategic, and this one's going to be almost completely strategic. So it's a nice thing to see.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, and I'll be doing some of your work, and I'll be picking your brain about things like roadmaps and product roadmaps and how to do one good and speak better and
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm still trying to crack the speaking better thing.
Oh yeah.
I do well either really scripted or
Yeah.
not scripted at all. Um, yeah, I'm kind of all over the place, but I have been in product now for a full year.
That's cool. That's cool.
I know. I know. It doesn't seem like it. I thought it was like 4 months, but no, I looked and it was like, oh, I just had my anniversary. It's been a whole year.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly the time passes because
Yeah.
I was looking for a job in October and then it's like you blink and it's March.
Hmm.
And I've been looking for a position for since October 26th, and you set those kind of goals. So I probably apply. I'll have another stream later on because some people on the Discord were like, "Yeah, tell me how you did your weirding ways and found a job and stuff." And it's everybody's job journey is a bit different, but I applied for probably over 300 positions and several loops, several discussions with people, recruiters, and that didn't go anywhere. I had one nightmare interview with somebody that I'll probably talk about at some point. Yeah, it was an hour long interview, and he had some homework for me, like tell us why we don't have to be FedRAMP compliant or something for our customers. And um, long story short, I had written it up as the customer has to prove that all their vendors can work inside the FedRAMP environment. And his argument was, well, we don't have to do that. And I said, the customer is always right in some cases, and the customer doesn't have to spend a lot of extra time working and proving that we're good if we can just throw them a document that says, "Hey, here we are in the FedRAMP market," or here's this kind of thing. And you know, in the future, it would be a selling point for us to say, "Well, we're already FedRAMP compliant. You want to be in FedRAMP. We're already FedRAMP compliant, so we can take over these things for you." And
It's a
he
way
was
lower barrier to entry.
right, exactly. It's like don't have to prove all of your vendors are SOC 2, and there's
Right.
a process there. So he basically sent me to the FedRAMP site because it's like, hey, click on this link. And we went to that link and he was like, here's the right answer. Okay, have a good day. Like, so I was like an hour into this discussion. I thought, oh, we're doing okay. I sent him some,
Yeah.
I sent him a thing. I was like, we should get FedRAMP compliant, even if we're not, requiring it because customers are going to use us and this will be future proofing us against other things. And he was
And
like,
I assume because the question was asked, they were either pursuing it or it was a sticking point for sales or it was something that potentially they wanted to be on their roadmap, but they weren't sure. There's a reason someone asks a FedRAMP question.
right.
during an interview.
right. They have customers that are like, "Hey, are you in FedRAMP?" And we'll say no, and they're like, "Why aren't you?" And that yes, we can show them the place in the document of FedRAMP saying, "Yeah, here's why we don't have to be." But if you
They still don't
are
care.
right, if you still are, then it's like you don't have to prove why you don't need to be in there. You're like, "Here's the document, boom,"
Hmm.
and it's a sales thing, it easier turnaround and a big
And
selling point.
a lot of companies like that is their internal process. Like if your vendor is not FedRAMP, they will move on,
Right, right,
right? Like
right,
because it makes it so much easier for them for implementation and everything else
right,
and like
right,
yearly compliance requirements that they're like, you know what, just hard and fast rule have to be FedRAMP compliant.
right. Yeah, and for
Like
me,
I don't care if you say if you don't need to be or not.
yep. Yeah, and my answer to his homework that he gave me was, even if we don't need to be, we should be, because like you said, turnover and
Right,
stuff like that.
right.
And um, yeah, we scheduled an hour, and not even 15 minutes in, and he was like, "Okay, bye," and then he disconnects the connection. And then
That's pretty rude.
I waited 3 days from the recruiter to find out, oh, I didn't get hired, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty obvious. Really nice job. I would have been right here in San Diego working for these folks. But yeah, that was probably the worst interview that I had done. So, but yeah, I had several loops, 300 plus. I have a whole spreadsheet with like the day I applied, the name of the company, the title, the link to the job, whether or not a cover letter was required, because I was doing cover letters like a motherfucker. Um, and yeah, so that was, it'll be an interesting time to discuss, because LinkedIn is pretty shitty for jobs, right? And then there's so many other sites that are
And
like,
that's what it's supposed to be for.
yeah, and there's so many other job sites out there that are like, pay us $5 and we'll give you access to the jobs, and if you just take a little time and do a little OSINT, you can find those jobs on those paid websites. Sometimes they're not even updated, so you're getting a bunch of jobs that are already taken up and stuff. So
Yep.
yeah. One at
Yeah, that
one.
market is
Yep.
insane.
Yeah, it is. It is. Hiring.cafe, though, just to give people a little sneak peek, hiring.cafe was actually really, really good. And they have a
Really?
Reddit subreddit. And if you're looking for a job, it's one of the better places for finding those positions. And it has things like controls in it. So if you go to that job and it's no longer available, you can go back to hiring.cafe and say, yeah, not a good job, or this is misleading, or it's remote, but it's really remote in San Francisco, because people who live in San Francisco and work for those companies are assholes. Um,
Hmm.
a lot of jobs that were like remote in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. A lot of healthcare and insurance companies. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
And this
uh,
is everything too. This isn't just tech.
yeah. They scrape a lot of
Like
different
plumbing
websites.
apprentice.
Yeah, yeah, and you can go in and set up different controls and different filters. Stuff from the last week, or something that's no more than 14 days old. Looking for specific keywords like CISSP or what have you. So it's a really really decent website, and they have a good Reddit as well. So if you're interested in that, they have a Reddit link on their hiring.cafe website. So but it's really nice. My niece had told my wife about it, who told me about it, and I started using it along with Well Found, I found Blue Mirror on there a couple times looking for
Yeah, that's what you
jobs.
told me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a site for startup jobs and for people who do startups. Uh, but yeah, it was really good. Well Found was another good one. Um, but anyway, I'll do more discussion on that. And if people are interested in those discussions, we'll make it happen. So.
Yeah. I
Eh,
think any help that people can get right now, especially with all the fraud that has hit the hiring market in
oh
the
yeah.
last year,
Yep. Yep.
has been incredibly difficult. I know we're doing automation for our hiring like our recruiter and stuff
Mm,
to even weed out people from our greenhouse, like the app or whatever
Oh yeah, yeah,
for
yeah,
recruiting,
yeah,
based off of like boilerplate
yeah.
uh, wording and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Greenhouse was a good ATS. They actually have a job board specifically. So
Hmm.
if your ATS is on Greenhouse, you can go to Greenhouse and look across to all of Greenhouse's organizations that they have. There was another one that I think did similar. Workday had a job board, but I always had a problem with submitting my resume by automated input or something. It would never it would tear it up. So I ended up having to input things manually when we were using Workday. But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of good information there. But yeah, I was on Well Found, and it's like, oh yeah, there's Blue Mirror, and it's a little hedgy and whatever. So.
Was it our new logo at least?
Let me see. It was the little black hedgehog, so maybe it wasn't the
Yeah.
newest one. Oh, it is the new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Uh,
Looks less like a bean.
oh, yes, yes. In that case, yes. Which one were y'all hiring for at the time? I think it was a software
Um,
engineer or something like that. So,
yeah, we are hiring for several software engineers. We
yeah.
just had two start, and I think we're hiring a third
Yep. Yep.
potentially.
Yeah. One of the good things I did find was that a lot more jobs are advertising their pay ranges. So that's
Oh,
really good.
it's a legal requirement now in many places.
Yeah, okay. I was saying in many
Not
places.
everywhere.
Yeah, I'm seeing. Yeah,
Ohio and Michigan, I know for sure. As a we're just like complying with it in general,
right, right,
right? Because it's easier like than custom deciding what to show people based on where they're from.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them got pretty specific, like, oh, if you're in these states, we're gonna do that. Or then there was like, no California need apply, that kind of thing. Actually, I had some of
Mm.
those where it was like, yeah, we're not hiring in California. Um, yeah, like no Irish need apply. Like way back in the day in the 1900s. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, like it's remote to
Do you know
every
why?
state but California. I don't know. Maybe it's insurance, or maybe they can't do business there or something. I don't know. But I actually had a couple of positions. It was like these states are good. If you're in California or Colorado, no.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, it was kind of interesting. Kind of
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, you see all types, and yeah, I mean, I'll probably do a demo where I'm going to apply to a job or something while I'm on there. But yeah, in the last
yeah,
couple of days, I'm still getting, like, dear applicant letters or whatever from other
sure.
organizations. And because yeah, I've still got probably a couple of hundred ghosts, or companies that have not replied, or they're expecting me to go to Workday or whatever and check the ATS to see if I've been approved or
You
not.
should
So
do like some metrics and like bar charts on that.
oh, I would have done better metrics, but yeah, it picked up and got better over time. Like I was keeping track
Yeah,
of whether or not I could do a cover letter or not.
sure.
Which system which ATS I was using, based on those things. So yeah, I'll see if I can, put it in some kind of bar chart. Or I was trying to see for the company I'm working for, which ATS they use, and they used a non-standard ATS, so it wasn't like
Okay.
Greenhouse or anything like that. But yeah,
Interesting.
Oracle and Workday were some of the worst ATSs I had to deal with. Oracle's ATS was, but it's Oracle. So
It's probably been around for 20 years.
yeah, yeah, I actually found Taleo, which is less likely now. Taleo is one I used back in 2012 or so, but yeah, it's rough. But yeah, if you're looking for a job, there are jobs out there. You got to spend
Hard to
time.
find.
You got to, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was working pretty much 8-hour days for the last 3 months, applying to every job I could find that even fit in my wheelhouse. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, several loops with no's, or got to the hiring manager and they didn't want to go on to me. But yeah, it's you got to take time. I mean, I was applying to jobs on Christmas Day, so
Yeah.
yeah, it was really weird. So I don't want to bum anybody out, but some good news: you can find a job. You just got to work at it. Weird, I know. Uh, so Ms. Berlin and I have a couple of news stories to talk about.
Yeah.
Um, so if you followed some of my short which one do you want to do first? Do you want to do the AI stuff, or do you want to do the robot thing?
Yeah, let's do the AI
Okay.
stuff.
All right. So there've been
Everyone likes talking about it.
yeah, it makes for
Like
good clickage.
half the articles I read on LinkedIn are like responses to this kind of stuff. It's
Right. Right.
everyone's got an opinion, and it falls into a couple different
Yeah.
camps.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually done some short work on OpenClaw recently. The default install of OpenClaw opens, binds to every interface on your computer, which includes your external IP address. And probably uses something like UPnP to create a port that goes out and exposes your OpenClaw to the internet. So there was a Reg article about 135,000 OpenClaw instances exposed to the internet. Uh, Secrets stored on OpenClaw are in plain text in Markdown files or config files, which can be easily found. Environment
And it's
variables.
stuff like that when people are like, AI is going to take all the tech people's jobs, I just laugh.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
no, it's actually probably going to make more jobs because, geez, oh, Pete,
yeah.
now everyone can do it.
It's a golden age for security people. So
Uh-huh.
yes, yes, and it's usually going to be because something screwed up AI or something screwed
Yep.
something up, and security is going to have to come in and run incident response or something like that. So,
Yep.
so I'm on Reddit quite a bit, and there was a couple of stories that came out. I actually talked about the Cairo one, Kiro, which is an Amazon product that they're using for. Um, it's an agentic AI, so it will make changes to your environment. It will do actions for you on behalf of the developers. And there was a story that had come out about okay, so a little background. Cairo has two modes. One is called autopilot, which is, as it sounds like, it's going to do its own thing without human intervention. The other one's called supervised mode. So I don't know which mode Cairo was in when this happened, but there was an article about an environment that a developer was allowing Cairo to make changes for. And Cairo, in its it did what it was told to do to make changes to this environment, but unfortunately, in some way, uh, it got the idea that to solve this problem, it needed to blow away the entire environment and rebuild it from scratch, which is typically not what you would do if you were a human. I would imagine in this case, it took what we would consider
I
extreme.
mean, you might, but you would do it to like your dev environment,
Right, right. This was on production environment, right? So yeah,
right? You would
yeah,
you would have it do the thing, test the code, do all, and then it should only have access to dev because there should be like a whole process to get things into production.
right, right, right. And so the blog post on I'll post this up here. So this blog post, along with one from Business Insider, Financial Times. So Financial Times had ran this report about Cairo being down for 18 hours or something. Prompted Amazon to actually do a rebuttal on this, where they said that the AI Cairo had a role that it had inherited potentially from the dev. So the dev had certain permissions to be able to do things, and the AI in supervised mode, because the way they wrote the rebuttal in this case was that the developer was supposed to say yes or no to all of these changes that were being made. Um, the caveat to the supervised mode is there seems to be like, I'm going to do these 15 things. If you're cool with these 15 things,
You just hit
you know,
go.
you can do a line item thing where it's like, I want you to do 1, 2, 12, 13, 14, and 15, or
Yep.
star, hit enter, that kind of thing. You can either
Yep.
do all or nothing. And so there's a little confusion about did the developer just rubber stamp that, or did they not realize what kind of changes were going to be implemented and what that was going to take, or maybe there was I don't know enough about what exactly the developer did or didn't do in this case. um, but yeah, it's interesting. AI is going to be helpful, but I think it's going to do things in a way that we don't necessarily expect it to do. We expect here to here. AI may actually go, and it's going to get to the same point, but it's going to take some steps that we didn't actually think
with your credentials.
with your credentials, or it's going to have its own role as a super user and it's going to be able to do things.
We
Um,
were talking about stuff like that earlier at work because like you could really do some real powerful stuff,
yeah, yeah,
right? And
right,
have like with like just with like the Bloomer, I don't want to like do salesy stuff, and I'm not going to, but I need to explain a little bit with like all the findings and like alerts and stuff that we generate for customers. It's possible that you could hook up an agentic AI to auto remediate,
right,
right?
right.
How scary is that though?
Oh yeah, 100%,
Right? They're like,
100%.
oh, this person's attacking your environment. What are they could reconfigure your entire 365 tenant.
Right. Yeah. Or like with the Cairo thing, you're oh there's pandas attacking your site based on these things. It could be a
Yeah,
hallucination.
right?
I think what it comes down to is yes, we're going to let AI do the things that are maybe what we would consider not destructive, but these are well the one we have and then the one about the meta is just two stories I've read about where maybe AI didn't do what we expected it to do. Like, there
It
was
did what it wanted to do and thought was right.
sure, sure. There was another story I'd read about somebody who said that they were using AI to help them with a project. And when they were done with that project, they said, hey, AI, delete those files. And instead of it deleting the project files on the D drive, it deleted the entire D drive with
Right.
all of the data on it, including the project files. And then there was another story I'd read where some guy, I think it was on LinkedIn, he uses AI a lot. His wife has her computer, who is separate, has about 15 years worth of family photos. He showed her how to install the AI process, and it deleted 15 years of their baby photos and their family photos. No backups. And so, you know, I don't know. I don't know the content. I should have checked that article, but that was one that had came up and was on Reddit as well. Um, the opinions I think that we're getting from this and from the Meta one is kind of interesting because with the Cairo agent, it was this is a bad AI, right? Don't blame because Amazon was the article was like, hey, the developer did wrong, right? The developer was bad because he let the AI do all these things. We put safeguards in place, it won't happen. Everybody on Reddit's like, bad AI, naughty, naughty, no biscuit for you. And then when you read the story about the meta director, and I actually put a Gizmodo link there because the 404 media one was just as crappy. Um, she set up OpenClaw, which we've talked about at length, connected it to her email box, and she got inbox zero because it deleted all of her emails. And people were
Did she
like,
publish like how to do that? Because I know some people.
I think everybody has different varying degrees of inbox zero, whether all zero unread or zero read, or no emails in your inbox
Gone.
whatsoever.
Just gone.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Right.
was I was envious of her inbox zero. I was like, man, I wish I could have zero emails in my inbox.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, lots of people do.
as we live and breathe. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, she actually
But like
wrote.
she was getting like lambasted on Reddit for being like incompetent or whatever. And she
Right.
was the one that talked about it, like
Right.
went out on social media, like, oh, I'm such an idiot. Like, look at what I did,
Right.
explained the prompts, everything.
Right.
And
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and Cybercoster, to your point, I think the real issues that people do not address is the data security within AI. You cannot use AI without sacrificing your data privacy. Yeah, I think in certain methods and certain the ways you're using that, you could probably say yes. You're assuming you have data privacy. I'm of the opinion that we really don't have privacy anymore. We try to, or but we've had so many breaches, and AI is being trained with so much different kinds of data. I don't know if we have privacy anymore, but we try. We try. Um, but I just found it interesting that the general consensus of the meta director, getting zero inbox was stupid human versus the Cairo AI was bad AI. Don't blame the human on this one. Blame the AI, and it may have been two completely different communities, which I don't think it was, but yeah, one was in our hacking and one was in our technology. So maybe that's the thing where they blame the human because our technology's Reddit is a little more AI happy and our hacking is not. But
Yeah.
it was interesting to see two sides of the coin where it's like an AI isn't wrong and then the AI is wrong, on that side. So um, yeah. Do you use an AI assistant, Miss
Of course. And the first time, so I use Claude. Well,
Claude?
sorry, I use Claude for some things. I use Claude for like some of my SQL stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
I use Cursor on my desktop.
Okay.
And I want to tell you, the first time I used Cursor after just, having Claude spit out commands at me, I was amazed. I was blown away,
Right.
right? Because they have a whole bunch of separate MCP servers for stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I
Right.
hooked up the MCP server for Atlassian,
Okay.
and I told it what I wanted to do and to use previous examples of things that I had written and the documentation of the discovery work that I had done. And then I wanted it to go create all the Jira tasks and the Confluence documents and everything based off of the templates.
Mm-hmm.
And it just did it.
Oh, nice.
It connected, it added everything. It was impressively good. But again, like to the point, it could connect to Jira and just delete everything,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
you have uh, certain permissions that it uses
Yeah.
based on how you're connecting.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think like permission management is going to be a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it always has been,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's harder when you're a startup.
Yep.
And it's harder when you like, I mean, it's just hard in general. We had that a lot at the hospital I was at, and that wasn't a startup where, like with 30 people in domain admin group
Yeah.
because installing software is hard.
Yep.
Um, AI just makes it so much more scary.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of these articles, I think the overarching, whether or not they're blaming the human or the AI, is it has something to do with deletion of something or um, no control over what the AI is doing in this case, or the AI doing something not intended in terms of that. And you're right, fine grained permissions, I think, is what we're going to have, or it's going to be queries like, hey, do this, but do it without deleting anything, or having certain
Yeah.
conditions in place, like to go back to my use of AI right now was using Gemini to like write cover letters or to do those other things, and it would give you an output, and it's like that's not the output I wanted, or it's going to put M dashes and bold text and bulleted items in there. I was like, look, I don't want that, so I had to tell it no bold text, no M dashes, nothing, get rid of the flowery ly words because if I dutifully executed what, and it's like no, that sounds overly formal, keep a conversational tone. So
Yeah.
you're going to need to have a real fine grained permission, like you cannot delete things, or organizations are going to have to get better backups, you know um,
Yeah.
because one of the things with Cairo, doing the unsupervised thing is it creates milestones and it creates a control Z kind of thing where it's like if you do something wrong, you can remove that. If you don't take advantage of those things, you just blindly let it do its thing and it deleted all your stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, well I need to control Z on that. Well, that's not possible. Or
Because I deleted the container.
yeah, the thing that I could control Z on no longer can control Z. Yeah. Um,
Right.
I'm all for letting them do what they need to do. And like Cybercoster mentioned, it is definitely a force multiplier. And what the 10 or 15 news stories that we've seen about this is probably not indicative of all of the work that they're doing on a regular basis. So these are the outliers. These are the,
Right.
the things that go awry. So these could be a 1%, a less than 1%, a 0.001% thing. How often are you using AI during your day to make things better? I had a point there, but it was like, we're the media only cares about the things that are sensational, and
Yeah.
we're catching all the things with like, oh, AI messed up. So we're catching all the AI messed up stuff, not the, you know, hundreds of thousands of, engage, transactions that they're doing every day. Anywho, yeah. I do think it was kind of cool that the meta director of AI safety kind of, blogged about her messing up.
Yeah,
So
I think so too.
I thought that was great. From a leadership point of view, it's cool to show, your not your weakness, but that you're a real person, and that people mess up
Right?
and do things. So
No matter what level I've been at, I've messed up on stuff, right?
right,
I mean, different levels for sure.
right, exactly,
Like there's been some real big ones and then there's been in the middle.
right.
But nobody is beyond doing, and it's not like she deleted all of Meta's execs emails,
Just her own.
right? Like
Yeah,
the whole exec team, I deleted all their no, it was just hers.
right, right. Yeah, and she it was kind of funny seeing how she had to run to her computer and she was trying to get it to stop doing that thing, and it did it anyway. I actually think I'm going to install OpenClaw on an upcoming stream or something,
Yeah.
just to play around with it, because I don't need a Mac Mini. I've got several boxes over there I can use to rebuild it. Um,
You should
yeah,
try Cursor too. It's pretty great.
Cursor. Okay, I'll give that a
Hmm.
shot too. You can run it. You don't have to run it bare metal, so it's
Yep.
I'll just install a Linux or an Ubuntu or something, and then run that over top of it. So see what comes of it, because I would like to see how easy it is to secure it. Because one of the big things
Sure.
was like, where are you storing your secrets?
Yep.
Can I
Yep.
find those secrets on that system? Am I actually, does it give me the ability to not bind to every interface on my computer, so I'm not exposing my home network to the
Oh, for
internet?
sure.
You know,
Yeah.
I
And
just
one of the things that's really cool is that what we talked about the other day was um, it almost gets rid of the need for like tribal historical knowledge in a company,
mm, really
right? I mean, think about it. If it's you're like, oh, well, the person who built that isn't here anymore, right? They were here
right.
for 5 years at the company. They built this thing. He was the only one that knew how it worked. Somebody's going to have to reverse engineer it and figure out like all the pieces and
Oh,
parts and everything that's talking to it. You just download the whole code base and ask
right,
Cursor,
right. Oh, that does make sense. Yeah, I
like,
could.
explain to me how this works.
Right, right.
What are all the interconnected pieces? What are, yeah,
Uh, You'd have to. That's one of those. Yeah, I guess. Are you talking like just the products, or like the legacy equipment, or like why this code is the way it is, or
yeah, why this code is the way it
oh,
is.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, plus, if you find out you actually don't need that code, you can get rid of it. Like, oh, this was for
Right.
an integration that you used to have and you no longer need it, so you can
Sure.
safely delete it. And then you'd be like, okay, that's a data point, but I'm going to go ahead and confirm before I go ahead and delete that.
Right,
Yeah,
right, for sure. And I mean, you still want engineers like writing. They just don't have to start from zero,
right, right.
right? Like before, it would just take like forever for people to get up to speed and figure out what, all those people left behind
Yep,
that don't work here anymore.
yeah, yeah. Plus, it's interesting because there's a lot of AI tools out there. There was the people are putting out these tools and people are overreacting, so it's causing changes in stock market prices. But I definitely see useful AI tools that are going to upend some markets, like COBOL, right? I just read one today
Yeah.
where shares of IBM apparently, whether or not this is true or not, but the media person said that shares of IBM fell because somebody had mentioned fairly easily that AI can now write COBOL, which is for mainframes and stuff, which is and I'm like, IBM's a little more than COBOL and mainframes, but I'll believe that. And there was another article about what was it? There was a security tool that Anthropic put out or something, I believe, and they were like, oh, Cloudflare dropped,
Oh yeah,
8%, CrowdStrike dropped,
I
so
saw
many
that.
percent. The the,
Yeah.
the problem is, I think they probably put Cloudflare and CrowdStrike in their article to get search engine results better than
Oh,
it.
100%.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't think Cloudflare and CrowdStrike give a shit about a code quality, code vulnerability scanner. Whereas something like a Rapid7, which its stock has been down for the past few months, vulnerability scanner company might actually have an issue with a thing that will help you find vulnerabilities. So some of these articles, as you read them, you're gonna have to pick out the bullshit in them, and just because a stock fell because of an AI doesn't necessarily mean it fell because of the AI. Causality and correlation, being what they are. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, I've had to be a bit more, I don't know, pessimistic about some of my news recently because of that, because it's like those don't, those two things you've just put in your news article don't make any sense, but they're doing it for clicks. So um,
I found a LinkedIn post
about the
about the Claude cybersecurity
oh
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had read that one too, and it didn't pass the sniff test for me, in
Mm.
terms of that. So there we go. Yep, that's it. Yep. Cool. Oh, I don't know. There we go.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right. Uh, yeah, Leo Cunningham. That's him. So I'm gonna get that one up and then post it up to folks. So I think I can.
Yeah. The joke
There it
post
is.
was, we just canceled our cybersecurity subscriptions. CrowdStrike, Cloudflare, Okta, all gone. We save over 4 million a year as a company. Instead, I just use Cloud Code to handle all security measures. We just gave up all our sensitive user data. I'm being personally sued by the FTC, and I'm writing this from an undisclosed location.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The good thing is that there's still people out there that are questioning that, like
Yeah.
some of these news articles. But yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny. So
Yep.
um, so the skateboard the skateboarding dog, the one I saw this morning was there's a man can control 7,000 plus robots. So the vacuum robots in your
I'm
house.
like, what? Why are we talking about skateboarding
Skateboarding
dogs?
dog,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
I get you. I get you.
So this guy named Sammy, he wanted to steer his DJI Romo. So if you have a vacuum, robot vacuum from DJI or Romo, uh, there's some security issues, right? A few problems. This guy was able to control 7,000. He wanted to control the robot with his game controller. So um, it is what it is. He said he was building his own remote control app. He reportedly used an AI coding assistant to help reverse engineer how the robot communicated with the remote cloud servers. But he discovered the same credentials that allowed him to see and control his own device also provided access to live camera feeds, microphone audio, maps, and status data for 7,000 other vacuums across 24 countries.
It costs $2,000.
Really? That's a
It is
2,000.
the size of a small fridge.
Oh my God, that's
I care
no.
less. This
Come
is
on.
rich people problems.
No, that thing doesn't look that big.
I am not paying $2,000 for, yeah.
Oh my
Retails
God.
for around 2,000 is roughly the size of a large terrier or a small fridge.
Okay, okay. A small, okay. All right. Yeah, yeah, small terrier. Okay, that makes more sense.
Still, that's huge.
I have a fridge on my back porch, and it's not because I am from the Midwest, so that kind of thing does happen.
It's a beer fridge.
It is a beer fridge. It stands about, I don't know, a meter high, yay big. And about this, and I was like, a small fridge for me was that, but you're talking like smaller one. Okay, so that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
$2,000. Good God.
That's an expensive vacuum.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I think I only paid like 300 for my Roomba.
I don't know why the vacuum would have a camera on it though. I mean,
I
uh,
mean, better than just plain sensors
oh, yeah, maybe.
to like not bump into stuff. If you have crystal sculptures laying around because you can afford a $2,000 vacuum,
The camera probably avoids dog poop as well, which is pretty much a hazard
maybe.
for any robot vacuum.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, it's got a microphone too, so that's a little interesting. It's probably for voice commands or something like that. Yeah, this is
yeah,
bad. The same credentials for 7,000 vacuums are hard coded into the device.
that's pretty great.
We would call that a critical issue at a
Hmm.
previous organization or two that I might have worked at. That would definitely be a bad day for us to find out that
A bad configuration.
yes, yeah, yeah, that would be a critical issue. There would be a lot of hard discussions about that. DJI Global finally fixed the huge vulnerability they had on their servers. Was discovered by a very skillful, so on Twitter, I think, N0TSA, and reported it to DJI. So he says over 10,000 robots. My guess is it's the entire fleet of robots, the Romo robots. So if you've had a Romo robot and you haven't updated your robot in a while, it probably is still using the same password. Or the password left over during a test or something like that. My guess is he dumped the firmware, found hard coded credentials inside, and they were using the same username and password across 10,000 plus, or the entire fleet of vacuums.
I wish I had more time.
Because you would have dumped the firmware on
I
all your
would just,
devices?
yeah, not all of them because there's a lot.
Oh, right. Right.
But like that's fun.
Oh,
Like the
yeah.
little tinkering like trying to do that
Yeah.
kind of stuff is pretty fun.
Well, when you get important in an organization like yourself, you find you have less time.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you should install OpenClaw and then solve all your problems.
Yes.
OpenClaw, do all my hobbies for me. Do you
Yeah.
know? You know.
It did help me a lot with wedding planning, which has been great.
Oh,
It made my whole website,
okay.
and I just put it on GitHub.
GitHub
My
static
GitHub.
pages. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Very nice.
Super, super great. It's like, here, fill in these things, and then your website's done.
Your AI
Great.
your AI wedding planner. There you go. There's
Perfect.
a tool. It's probably worth a
It,
talk or two.
I mean, yeah, I originally being that we do like Scrum things and have all these boards and everything, um, wanted to I started looking up like people that use Scrum to plan their weddings.
Wow.
There's a significantly large amount of blog posts
Uh,
on people that have done this.
I'm not surprised by that. If you could set up your own Jira, you've got, sprint planning,
Yeah.
you've got your tickets, what needs to be
Yes.
done, you've got your Kanban
Yeah.
going on, like,
Yep. Yep.
100%, 100%.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm not so crazy now that you mention it, because it is a project, right? And if you don't have a wedding
Yep.
planner, you're gonna have to have an AI do it, or you're gonna be doing it yourself. So
Hmm.
any big event, I mean, conferences, you could set up a conference on a Kanban, or any kind of project that has a start,
Right?
middle, and end with aspects of a start finish or a finish or those kinds of
Yep.
things. So yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to be doing a lot of that when I get back into my new work. So I'll
Yeah.
be managing roadmaps. I'll be managing audits. I'll be managing GRC functions and all those. So wow, yeah, okay. So yeah, I've seen that vacuum thing with the hard coded credentials. It's not the first time we've seen something like that,
No.
but that affects the whole fleet. That is a big
No.
deal. That is a big deal. Test credentials are always a difficult thing on a device, on a hardware device. Uh, back
I mean,
before,
hard-coded credentials have bitten so many companies.
Sure,
for a very long time.
you use them in the test process, because it's just easier to do it that way. You
You
maybe
forget you need a credential for some things,
right,
like,
right,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, or it's an API key because you want to do proper reach back instead of just running curl for your OTA updates or something like
yeah,
that. Um, you know, oh yeah, we'll remove that API key before we put it into production. Yeah, and that API key never gets removed, and it's now on 8,000 devices. So, or
yep.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm so glad we don't do devices. I don't know if I'll ever go to a company that does devices,
Mm.
like hardware devices. That just seems
It's
so difficult.
it is a little different. It is a little different. I
Yeah,
won't lie to you.
yeah,
Having to you can't just throw out 1,500 builds in a day, or whatever the
right.
typical thing is. There's a release cycle, right?
Yeah,
So if things like bug bounties come in for a device, the one thing you have to remember though, it is just software. There are very few vulnerabilities that affect the hardware specifically, unless it's like hey, your JTAG
sure.
was supposed to be disabled and we can access it. That's a
Yeah.
hardware specific issue. I would say 90+% of hardware related issues are in the firmware itself,
Hmm.
whether it be outdated libraries, hard coded credentials, APIs, that kind of thing. Uh, Very few of those things are actually software or hardware related in many cases.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, you know, yeah, I won't go any further because I don't have my severance payment yet from that company. So,
Nice.
yeah, but yeah, it, wow, robot vacuums, man. Uh, for $2,000, that thing better avoid all of the dog poo on the floor. So I'm just saying, you know.
I've run into problems with cords more than anything.
Oh, yeah.
Cords.
I have an iRobot downstairs, and now the company's gone, pear shaped and is bankrupt. Uh,
Wait,
I
what?
I think iRobot like filed for
Really?
bankruptcy. Yeah, let me see.
Huh.
Not Robot. It's not iBullrot either. Oh my god, I can't type for shit.
Mine's
iBort.
okay.
But,
Mine's okay. I have the one
uh,
that like automatically empties itself.
right. Well, the problem with mine is I set it and it's like you're supposed to map the room. So
Yeah.
depending on how you do it, there's some that you carry it around and it's going to take photos, kind of like maybe the Romo does, where you carry it around, it's going to take photos and see where to avoid. Yeah, they
Mine I
filed.
just hit like a map button on the app and it just goes.
Yeah, mine goes, but it gets stuck underneath the dining room table and then
Oh.
runs out of battery power and then gets stuck and it dies. I've never actually
We put our chairs
successfully
up.
used mine.
We put our chairs up before we run it.
Is that how that works?
Hmm.
Hmm.
We just do like the diners do. We flip our chairs around and put it on the table.
Okay. What happens if it runs while you're not there and it gets stuck underneath the chair?
I don't let it do that. It only runs when I'm here.
Oh,
I don't put it on a timer or anything. I just like when I know my floor is dirty,
damn.
I tell it to run.
See,
Because
this
I
is
also don't trust my children to leave like iPhone cables and headphones and random junk in places that it's not going to eat.
see that makes way more sense and now I can probably use my vacuum. Cuz I'm like this thing is so stupid. It doesn't know how to avoid my dining room chairs. And
Yes, mine still gets stuck under my couch. Matt
okay,
just shoved a pillow under there,
nice.
so it can't get stuck in that spot anymore.
Okay. Man. Well, I feel stupid. Yeah. I'll just put up my chairs. You've been in my house. You've seen my dining room.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
You have a very clean house though, so I feel like you don't run it very often.
Well, we have the nice cleaning lady who comes in every month, but my wife is fairly fastidious with cleaning, so yeah, so she does a good job, and I help out where I can, but I know that she's going to go ahead and redo my stuff anyway. So I just try to do the backyard and try not to screw it up too much. But
Yeah.
um, great. Now I can use my Roomba, but they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So
I had no idea.
yeah.
So no security updates for iRobot.
Following a failed merger with Amazon, intense competition, and heavy tariff-related debt, company is now
Oh,
owned by selling itself to its primary manufacturer, Shenzhen PICEA Robotics, which will take over its debt. So, yeah,
okay.
now it's owned by China. So probably was owned
I
by
mean, it
China
was made
before,
there
but
anyways, I guess.
right, is
So,
manufactured there. So yeah, all the parts were manufactured in China. So
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, well,
Hmm.
I wanted to do the threat intelligence questionnaire, but we're at an hour.
Oh, I
And
can't. I was going to talk about one more thing that I completely forgot about.
yes, please.
Is the conference I went to.
Oh, which conference is that?
It was the Smart Water Utilities Conference.
Oh, you told me about that. Yes, we
Yeah,
chatted a little
not smart
bit.
water like smart water,
Oh,
like not the brand smart water,
right.
but like intelligent water utility, like
Okay.
cyber related water utility stuff.
Uh huh.
Um, Terrible conference.
Oh,
But
I'm sorry.
yeah, it's okay. I did decide after I'm done at Blumira that I am going to create a conference business because of the model that this organization has is incredible. They're based out of the UK,
Okay. Okay.
and none of the people I talked to were at the actual conference. They had like two part-time people that go to these conferences. It
Okay.
was 35 people.
Oh.
They charged 500-ish to get in, even for speakers.
Okay.
Even though I was like, no, I'm not paying that. Let me know when your policies for your speakers are better. They came back to me and they were like, what if you were a ambassador? Then we wouldn't charge you to get in.
Okay.
There was no actual ambassador program. I think they're just like, okay, whatever. We need speakers.
We need speakers.
Um, One track, one room,
Right. Right.
and the first 2 days was smart water utilities. The next 2 days was a conference about food, um, like the big meat cutters and like food preparedness,
Okay.
like uh conference.
Okay.
And then the next 2 days after that was like some doctor medical grade something conference. So
Wow.
they're not even in the utilities industry, which I thought they
Okay.
were. And they just crank out like conference after conference after comp.
I
And I mean, they're
see.
charging $500 a head.
So it's not smart water utilities, it's smart water utilities.
Yeah,
Okay. I get it. Okay.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
to be fair, you came to LA to a conference when there was a ton of rain.
Yes, I did.
I mean, and it's not like, oh, it's misting or whatever. I mean, we had legitimate rain totals here in the
Yeah,
Southern
I did go to the
California area.
beach. The several minutes that it wasn't raining, I went to Huntington Beach.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I just met these new people
Uh
at
huh.
this conference, and one of them drove several of us to the beach, and we ate, and then we went back. It was very interesting. I learned a little bit about utilities, pumps, and
Okay.
products and stuff. There was like two other cybersecurity people there talking about stuff, but the rest of
Right.
them were just like vendor pitches.
Right. Okay.
I was mostly vendors talking to vendors, and like maybe 10 non-speakers.
Somebody's got to be bankrolling this thing, right? So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
wait,
So if
yeah.
anyone listening wants to go into business with me to create conferences, I
Okay.
think I have a great business plan.
So,
I'm just going to copy what they're doing.
smart stationary office supply conferences,
Yes.
paper
Yep.
clips,
Yep.
fasteners, or just really fun toys.
And at that point, it's marketing. I
Right.
just need
Right.
someone good at marketing
Well,
and maybe a little bit of logistics.
I know somebody who's on the marketing board of two B-sides that you might be able to, you know, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we just, look around the room, decide what industry that you want to throw a conference for.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter great. Like all the companies that make food containers,
Oh, wow, that's very
right?
meta.
All I know.
Container lid conferences, you know,
Yes.
you know,
Yes, like plastics.
lids, they hold shit in. You know,
So yeah, that was my takeaway mostly.
now I want to believe that there would have been more people there if it hadn't been raining. You said 35 people, and that included the speakers, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
there were like 20 speakers.
I'm assuming that if it had been nice, that there would have been people there because the traffic in LA during rain is epic. I mean, it's like
It is, yes.
literal people don't go to work. It's going to be really bad today. A 1 hour commute could easily be 4 hours. Kind of
Yes.
thing, right? I work
Yeah.
from home, so when I see these things, these SIG alerts that they call them here in the Southern California
Yeah.
area, I'm happy that I don't have to deal with that anymore. I dealt with that when I lived down here in 2001 to 2009, having to drive those things, and
Yep.
yes, they get ugly. They get ugly. But yeah, I would like to believe the Meat Packers conference that was right after your smart water utilities,
Different conference. Yeah.
right? That they would have been far more people there. I'm imagining like a bunch of people in aprons with like mallets
Yes.
and like carrying
Chef hats.
around chef hats. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So I'm
I'm
going to
saying
I'm going to be traveling this weekend. Thursday, I will be traveling up to Seattle, my old stomping grounds, for
nice.
B-Side Seattle. I
Very cool.
am going to be doing some interviews there. So if for
I
B,
wonder if our Seattle person's going. I'll have to ask him. I'll point him your direction if so.
I do what like Hackers Health or Blue Mirror.
Blue Mirror.
I don't know if they're a sponsor or not, but you know what? We could use some sponsors for like B-Side San Diego and those. If if a poor company like Blue Mirror that doesn't have any money to be able to do that. If you wanted to, I'm not putting you all on the spot. It's fine. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, hit me up. I would love to have some interviews with folks who are attending, not from a vendor point of view, but I will be
Yeah.
interviewing folks, asking questions about, what do you think about the conference? I'll be interviewing some keynote speakers. I'm also helping out with the social media aspects of some of these things, so I may be doing some Instagram stuff as well. And yeah, looking forward to being back up there, seeing some of my folks from CSEC East, and a lot of the folks that I've been connecting with the last decade or so while living up there. So it's a lot of folks like Cyber Digital Warhead, Walt, a bunch of other folks. Looking forward to seeing them. Uh, so yeah, we're almost sold out. So if there are any tickets left for B-Side Seattle, I think I talked with Wham, the head guy. We're in like I don't even I think we have maybe 15 tickets left total. I mean, we're almost nearly sold out, which is amazing. There's still some of the workshops that are available. If you have a ticket and you want to do a workshop, you can sign up for one of the workshops. We're doing AI related items. We're going to be talking about MCP. We got some
Are there still
drone.
tickets left?
If there are tickets, I mean, we're literally in like 15 tickets left out of like 1,000 or so. So we're doing really well. We're doing really well. And so besides San Diego, which is April 4th, I think we're about halfway sold through our tickets right now, which is really good for us. And we're at the San Diego State Student Union. Besides Seattle's at Building 92 in Redmond on the Microsoft campus. Really, really nice place. Um, yeah, couple of great West Coast conferences. We're not Wild West Hacking Fest, but it's a different vibe in many cases.
Hmm.
Both places are going to have career villages where you can come in, do resume review. Very important, obviously, with our job market the way they are. I've given up my slot at B-Side Seattle for the career village because I no longer need it. We're going to have interviews there. I think we're going to have some CISOs come by, so there may be opportunities to actually do in-person interviews with hiring managers. And yeah, looking forward to the 2 day event that we're doing up there. The one in San Diego is still only 1 day, but we're looking to expand that next year. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, looking forward to it. Would love to see a Hackers Health Village up there. To be honest, both of our B sides could benefit from having a Hackers Health Village. So I
I
will.
will ship you a kit and or go if I can.
Well, April in San Diego is lovely. February in Seattle
Oh,
is.
that's why I can never do April because it's like, isn't it right around RSA?
I believe we try to not. I believe both B-side Seattle and B-side San Diego try not to trod on RSA. B-side Seattle more than others. So, um,
Besides San Francisco's right beforehand, I know.
right, right, yeah. And because RSA doesn't really announce that, kind of like DEF CON, you kind of have to wait for them to figure out when their days are, so we're not stomping on RSA. So,
Yep.
yeah, interesting bit there. But anyway, Miss Berlin, how would people find you if they wanted to talk about smart water utilities or setting up, conferences and making fat loot?
LinkedIn's probably best anymore. So
LinkedIn, okay,
Amanda Berlin on LinkedIn.
okay, yeah. Mr. Betcher, he's actually at an on-site today, which is good for him. He's on LinkedIn as well. Go look him up, Brian Betcher, Brianboettcher. You can check him out there. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Reddit a lot, but for different reasons. So if you're on like Diablo 2 Resurrected's Reddit or whatever, I do different kinds of things on Reddit. But I'm definitely on LinkedIn if you want to reach out to me on there. So cool. Anything else, Miss Berlin, before we go?
No, I don't think so.
Are you going to be at any conferences coming up?
RSA.
You'll be at RSA. See, I need at some point I'm
And
going to have.
besides San Francisco also.
Okay. Um,
Yeah.
so Miss Berlin will be flying back from Ohio to the West Coast, San Francisco for both of those. Get some time on our calendar. Do you have a Calendly or something? Maybe somebody wants to come and talk to you about engaging in
I
Blue Mira. So
I actually use the Google has a
Google
Calendly
has,
like
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
right,
so
right.
I use that one now, but yeah, just
Okay,
hit me up on LinkedIn and I'll send it out to whoever.
there you go. So if you want to talk about Blue Mira's strategy, and
Or
how they
really
can,
anything.
or anything, yeah, how they can help you, improve your own environment. Reach out to Miss Berlin. So yeah,
Yep.
cool. All right. Well, hope everyone has a good day, good rest of their week. I'm going to be on at some point later on this week. I'll probably be setting up OpenClaw and failing miserably, as most of my tutorials happen to do, or I'm going to blow up my own internal network. One of the things I got to do is I got to put my new work computer on my guest network because I don't want it on the rest of the network because my home network's a little flat. So I want to make sure that I'm isolating my work computer from the rest of the network uh, because of reasons. But anyway, I'll be on later this week. We'll do some OpenClaw stuff, or we'll take some requests to do Cursor or whatever. See what it takes to set those things up, and um, because I got some time now, so I'm pretty much fun employed now until the 16th of March when my start date is. So. Looking forward to talking to you, and hope everyone has a great week. Okay, take care now. Bye
Yep.
bye. Have a good day. Later.
See ya.